It is officially November of 2024, and this is the time where we start to reflect and see how far we've come. We start looking at those vision boards that we made back in December of last year and early January, and we're trying to see, have we really made progress? And there's some of us that's going to feel like, baby, I don't think I did nothing this year. I don't think I've done a thing this year. And then there's some of us that's going to be very proud when we see our progress. But nonetheless, I want whoever needs to hear this, I need you to know that whether you feel like you haven't made any progress or you just haven't made enough progress, I need you to know that you still have time. Yes, time is flying. And yes, we're at the end of the year. But as long as you're breathing and you have your life and all of your capabilities, you still have time. I want to talk about what you may need to do to become unstoppable for the remainder of the year and maybe throughout the beginning of the year. But it's time to lock in. So let's talk about how you need to do that. Let's talk about the sacrifices you may have to make in order to do that. Let's get into it. So for the rest of this month and throughout December, it's very important that you learn how to put yourself on Do Not Disturb. Just as quickly as you're able to click that button on your phone, you need to be able to do that in real life as well. Putting yourself on Do Not Disturb is a non-negotiable. And it's going to come off as if you're being selfish. But if anything, what you don't realize is actually that you putting yourself on Do Not Disturb is you actually being selfless. Because you're going to take that time, when you put yourself on Do Not Disturb, you're going to take that time and pour into yourself so that you can eventually pour out into others and into other things as well. So it's not necessarily selfish in the long term. It's just selfish temporarily. But the ultimate goal is selflessness. What does it mean to put yourself on Do Not Disturb? To keep it very simple, it's just you choosing yourself. You may be one of those people like me that tend to help other people a lot. It sounds cliche, but it's very, very true. I have a huge heart and I love to help people. And a lot of times I'll push what I have to do to the side to help people. But for the remainder of this year, I don't have time for that. So I'm choosing myself and I'm politely declining anyone else's needs, especially if they're wrong like you. They'll figure it out, just like you have to figure it out. But you need to choose yourself. If you don't put yourself on Do Not Disturb, you can expect to be derailed and distracted by everyone else's engagements, by everyone else's life, and you don't have time for that. And if you don't find it within yourself to be able to tell people no and to shift the focus to yourself, then no one else will respect your focus if you don't demand it. Those that know you, those that know the type of person you are, they know that you're a genuine person, they know that you're a helping person, they're going to understand this before anybody does. And if they don't, then they're just not for you. But those people can't do anything but respect your decision to focus on yourself. So that's the main thing you need to focus on. Take some time to be real with yourself. Find out what your biggest distraction is. For a lot of us, it may be social media. For a lot of us, it may be television. I would probably say those are the top two for a lot of us. Find out what your biggest distraction is and eliminate it. If you have to take a week off of social media at a time, or if you can't take time off of social media because maybe that's your job, which is very normal today. Maybe you need to post and get off. Don't start scrolling. Whatever it is, you need to figure out what your distractions are, and you must eliminate them. And if I haven't learned anything else this year, I've definitely learned this. A lot of us tend to procrastinate when it comes to getting things done, when it comes to accomplishing certain goals. We procrastinate. And in that time of us procrastinating, we're distracting ourselves with something else. To put it in the simplest terms, if you're in college, you know you have this essay due by the end of the week, but you don't even want to think about it right now. You don't even want to brainstorm about the topic of the essay. So what do you do instead? You pick up your phone, you start scrolling on TikTok, and you continuously scroll and laugh and maybe cry and laugh and cry some more, like whatever you're watching, you're constantly scrolling in efforts to distract yourself from what you should be doing. You're likely allowing yourself to be distracted because it's much easier than facing your goals. And that's not good, babe. You need to snap out of it. You need to be able to set boundaries with people. And that kind of go hand in hand with putting yourself on do not disturb. But you need to set boundaries with people. Set boundaries with your friends. Set boundaries with your boyfriend or your girlfriend. Set boundaries with maybe some family members. You need to set boundaries because a lot of times energy is real. And whatever energy everyone else has around you, whatever energy you allow to be around you, it could possibly hinder you. It could possibly keep you from reaching certain goals. Maybe you have a person that's around you that's constantly negative, constantly complaining, and you're too nice to tell them I was going to say something. You're too nice to tell them to keep their distance if they keep up with the negativity and the bad energy. So you allow that energy to be around you. You start soaking up that negative energy as well. You need to figure out how to set boundaries with those people. And some of those friends and families are not going to like those boundaries. They're going to feel like you're acting a certain type of way and being fake, this, that, and the third. But, oh well. Those that really respect you, they'll get it and they'll respect it. I think one thing that's very important when it comes to accomplishing goals is just being super clear and concise about them. And I think a lot of us really underestimate the power of writing out our goals or writing out affirmations or whatever it is. We really underestimate the power of that. I think it's important to maybe in this situation, list out your top goals. If you weren't able to accomplish everything on that vision board, maybe there's something on there that you still have time to accomplish realistically. Write out what those top goals are. Make it very clear, plain, and concise. And find a way to shift your focus to just those things. You're wasting your time if you're just trying to wing it. I know someone that's, I know a lot of people like this actually. There's a lot of us that we try to do multiple things at once, and that's okay, That's fairly normal, like especially if you're ambitious and super driven. You will try to do a lot of different things at once. But you're trying to do all those things with no clear direction. By the time you get to the end of the year, you realize that you really got nowhere. The only reason why it felt like you were making progress is because you had 1,000,000,001 things on your plate, but not for a single day did you put focus into handling one specific thing. You were trying to handle multiple things and you were barely making progress in any of them. So you feel like you've been running wild, like a wild child. And by the end of the year, and you feel like, okay, I got some stuff done. But realistically, no, you didn't. Because you don't have any direction. You're just doing stuff. You're just winging it. And without clear direction, you won't get anywhere. So write your goals out, the top goals that you have for the rest of the year. Make it very plain and choose to focus on those things. Create a schedule where you maybe you have 3 top goals for the rest of the year. Maybe you focus on those 3 goals on different days of the week. So your number 1 goal, you focus on it on Mondays. Your number 2 goal, maybe Tuesdays. Your number 3 goal on Wednesdays. And have days throughout the week where you're focusing on just that one topic. Don't focus on all the goals in one day. You know what I mean? That's going to create too much confusion and it's going to cause a lack of progress. Separate these things out, make them clear, and lock in. Along with your clear directions, you need to be able to create a routine and stick to it. A very disciplined routine will build all the momentum you need to finish the year off as strong as possible. Your routine can include your morning habits, whether you're journaling or praying in the morning for a certain amount of time, going to the gym, whatever. It'll include your morning habits. It'll include your work blocks, whatever you're doing during your working hours, and just planning your weeks and days consistently, whatever it is. You need to be able to do that and stick to it. Don't make anything super complex either. Like, a lot of people feel like, oh, the more the merry. No, the more the messy. Okay? Keep the routine simple, but stay consistent with it. And if you can't stick to a routine, then don't expect to see the results that you desire. Because one thing about it, consistency is going to beat motivation every single time. I might not be motivated to go to the gym every day, but consistency will keep you in there. So find a routine, stick to it. It's very simple, it's very plain. And don't be afraid while you're going through these processes and doing these things. Always check your progress. Make like these little mini short daily vlogs for yourself. Not maybe you're not a content creator, but just make the vlogs for yourself. That's like someone getting in the gym for the first time ever and just taking a picture of themselves their first day, on the third day, on the fifth day, on the seventh. Like, just do something like that. Don't be afraid to check your progress, because being proactive about checking your progress will also tell you if you are doing enough before it's too late. You don't want to take a reactive approach with progress. You want to be proactive about it and consistently check how far you've come every single day, if not every other day, but just check how far you've come so you know if you need to make some improvements or changes in certain areas. If you're not actively progressing, then you're just holding yourself back. Don't ignore your own lack of effort. During this time, you also need to learn how to say no and stand on it. Stand on business when you say no. Don't feel bad, because somebody like me, we feel bad. We feel real bad saying no to anybody. But it's so important. It's so important. Say no to extra obligations. Say no to unnecessary scrolling. You need to say no to people pleasing. Say no to toxic relationships and guard your focus. It's more important now than ever. And you also need to remember that every yes to any distraction is a no to your goals. If you remember that, that's all you need. And if you're not ready to sacrifice, then you're not ready to grow. It's that simple. One last thing I think is very important, and I think people tend to underestimate it, is visualizing how you want to end your year, or visualizing yourself accomplishing those goals and acting on it. People underestimate the power of affirmations and manifestations and just being delulu sometimes. Because sometimes being delulu is the answer, okay? Sometimes you just need to act like you already no, for real. It sounds crazy, but it's very true. Just act like you're already in those rooms. Act like you've already accomplished these things. Walk like it, talk like it, show up every day like it. And the next thing you know, you're already living the life. Like, it's so important for you to imagine these things and act on them. And please understand that if you don't start working on these things like right now, like, you don't have any more time to waste. You have no time to waste. It's not waiting on you. Time is not waiting on you, me, or nobody else. If you don't start working on these things right now, then you're going to end the year exactly where you are. And you need to ask yourself if you're even satisfied with where you are at this moment. If you are, then okay, wash your hands with this video, so be it. It's not for you. But if you're not, you definitely have some work to do. So to sum up this video, this time of the year is where you prioritize accountability, you prioritize discipline, and you face the fact that achieving your goals means sacrificing some things and stepping out of your comfort zone. And it's okay. But you have some work to do, babe. And you're trying to become unstoppable. And you're not going to become that staying in old habits. You're not going to become that if you're not stepping out of your comfort zone. You're not going to become that if you're not holding yourself accountable and remaining disciplined in your process. So think about it. And I hope you see this video exactly when you need to see it. I hope this helps. But until next time, I'll talk to you all very, very soon. Take care.